This is Eamon Andrews beginning the story on a rainy day at Creek Castle, North Wales, where Britain's contender for the Middleweight Championship of the world, Randolph Turpin, winds up his training. And here to run the rule over the man who won and then lost the title back again to Sugar Ray Robinson come pressmen as guests of promoter Jack Solomons. Prominent among them is America's greatest authority on boxing, Nat Fleischer. And at Victoria Station, London, another train brings an equally important cargo. In fact, the other half of the great fistic argument, Charles Humez of France. And it's a big welcome as Humez steps out with daughter and wife. With 61 victories out of 64 fights, he's Europe's next best contender for the title, which Sugar Ray forfeited. A huge crowd milled outside the Solomons Gymnasium for the weigh-in. And here's Turpin with a last-second sensation. He needed a Turkish bath to make the weight. And so to the fabulous White City and the 54,000 crowd basking in typical Solomons weather. If only Jack had had a fixing of the coronation date. As usual, it's a sellout, but who would you guess is getting the big end of the gate? The Chancellor of the Exchequer, but nobody's worrying about that now. The prelims are nearly over, so let's take a quick look for celebrities before the big show begins. For instance, the White City has big memories for our old friend, Freddie Mills. And there's Mrs. Mills with Jack and Freddie. Captain Ayres, boss of the White City, is ably assisted by a staff of experts. This is Eric Cargill. And this is Jack Dawes. Teddy Waltham is with Jack's brother, and nearby is Mrs. Solomons with some friends. Far left is Val Parnell of the Palladium, and another keenly interested ringsider hoping to take Turpin over to the States is Harry Markson with Joe Loss. Fresh from over there are Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis. The Duke of Marlborough is followed by his son and heir, the Marquis of Blandford. And they're followed by distinguished guests of the GRA. Major Mackenzie is with racehorse owner Jack Holding. The Duke of Beaufort, Lord Burleigh, and GRA boss Frank Gentle. Now the experts are ready to tell the story to the world, so we'll have to hurry. In the middle of this line is Sir Arthur Elvin, and further along we'll spy Nat Fleischer again. Tommy with Mrs. Farr, another one with memories. Frankie and Mrs. Arthur Gardner. The Marquis of Milford Haven. But now the lights go down, the big show is on. First to enter is Charles Humez of France. And we see the spectacle and feel the tense excitement of this coronation promotion as Charles Humez, in search of that world title, climbs in, showing no sign of the nerves that must be underneath that resplendent dressing gown. Humez having his first important fight as a middleweight. He was one-time welterweight champion of Europe, and now the man he's got to face, Randolph Turpin himself. 5,000 people cheering to the summer sky for Britain's Empire and Middleweight champion. Turpin, as cool as always, calmly sits down there, and with the prelims over, we'll be bringing you the highlights as we saw them from the White City ringside. Round one. And watch this former welterweight Humez on his toes, light and lithe. Turpin flat-footed, dangerous. That left-hand jab of Turpin looks just like a flick with a lot of power and bone and muscle inside that glove. Humez has respect for it. He keeps a respectful distance almost all the time. Humez jabbing in. He's out of distance each time he jabs in. Turpin doing his best to entice Humez towards him, but Humez is having nothing of that. He knows what's there behind those gloves. Very wild. Humez punching wildly with both hands, but not stepping in far enough. That left hand jabbing all the time. A nice jab to the body there by Humez, but it's one of few that he really puts power behind. Round two. Turpin in the white striped trunks. And now some of the liquor Turpin killer instinct coming out. He drives Humez into a neutral corner, but not for long. He lets him come right back into the open spaces again. Clubbing Humez, but Humez covers up quite well. In on him now. He's hurting Humez. That nose is beginning to show signs of wear. Humez, the Iron Man of France, is still there, punching away, taking what Turpin gives him. Round five, and Humez still moving away from those solid left-hand punches of Liquor Turpin from Leamington. Turpin casual, even holds those gloves open. The crowd want to see the killer come out in him. Is he setting for that right-hand punch? Yes, he's setting, but it's a very wild one. It even makes Turpin smile. The only man in danger there was referee Andrew Smythe. That's a nice right hand, but just not right on the button by Humez. A little bit further, another inch, and this fight might have a different story. That nose of Humez bleeding. Turpin trying to set him up for a right-hand punch, but again those gloves cover up and save Humez dangerous trouble. Humez leading dangerously with the right hand, leaves himself open for a counter, but Turpin doesn't take advantage of it. End of round five. Nothing very spectacular, but Turpin still in command and punching away towards that world title. Round six. Now Turpin trying a lot harder here, and apparently boxing a lot more carelessly. That may be the measure of his judgment of Humez. That nose of Humez looking very sore, very red, and very battered. And Turpin's not helping it. And a lovely left hand by Humez as the bell went for the end of round six. But Turpin comes over just as nonchalantly to his corner as ever, while the seconds work hard on Humez, whose nose is in really bad shape. Coming up for round 10 here, you see Humez no longer on those sprightly toes of his. He's a tired boxer, but a very game one and a strong one. Those clubbing right hands of Turpin must be making his head really ring. He's glad to hold on, but inside Turpin is the stronger, can shove him away anytime. Turpin trying to set himself for a right hand here. Humez sees it too, and jabs out two saucy left-hand punches there. Humez just as game as ever. But Turpin hardly breathing heavily. He's well within himself.
And here
Round 11, and referee Andrew Smythe wants more action in this world title contest. The first bit of action is that telling left jab of Turpin's, but it needs a lot more than that to put this Iron Man of France down. Turpin clubbing into the body. Those energy-sapping punches of Turpin really tire any man. But it's a sort of Hobson's choice for Humez whether to take them on the body or on that battered nose of his. But take them he's got to. Turpin covers up very neatly with the elbow as Humez tries to slam into the body there, but inside it's the Humez head that jolts back as Turpin brings up the uppercuts and almost puts him down. It's half shove, half punch. No count. And that hopeful right hand of Humez keeps coming across. Wrestling inside, you can see the strength, the rippling muscles of Turpin as he punches and shoves Humez away from him. A nice saucy right there by Humez, but Turpin keeps coming in. He hops up on his toe as if to clear his head, and in he comes again. He's not bothered by it. Still, he's taking no chances, although he holds those hands quite wide apart there, trying to entice and draw Humez to him, and Humez comes, but still out of range. He's not prepared to step in that extra inch or so and take the risk of a really solid Turpin counter. Round 14. Second last round, and the crowd are shouting for more action, and Humez is trying rather tentatively to give it to them. That left hand bang, bang on the Humez nose all the time. That Humez head must be really ringing now. And it looks like Turpin that time, who was glad to go inside. Still finding the nose as Humez tries his own tentative left-hand jab. Turpin inching up all the time. We think he's going to get set for that right hand, but it never really comes. Humez, for all the 14 rounds he's gone, is still light on those feet and ready to sway away and get out of dangerous range. In he comes and takes a right clip on the chin. Turpin still daring him to come in. And he tries that wild leading right hand, but Turpin stays there and punishes him badly as he comes in. Humez trying to inch Turpin into a neutral corner there. Turpin gets in, but Humez, no, he lets him get out again. He's not going to trade punches with this liquor boy from Leamington. Stopped again as he comes in, so we see now why he doesn't bother to come in so often, because Turpin pins him every time he does. Doing very well, and the bleeding from that nose has stopped. His seconds have done a wonderful job on Humez. And Turpin, still as cool as he was in the opening round, and a rather tired and weary Humez is worked on again by his seconds, the nose taking most of the attention. The last round, a shake hand and a smile, but the crowd don't want smiles, they want fury here. Turpin's still well within himself. He doesn't have to do much to win here. He's well ahead on points, and Humez is the man who'd have to knock out to win at this stage. The last round of the Middleweight World Championship contest in the White City. Humez trying as hard as he can. Lefts and rights, very nice punches there by Humez. He's certainly full of courage, this boy. He makes Turpin miss badly there, and he gets the cheers of the crowd. And another saucy French left hand there as he shoves Turpin away from him. But Turpin's still very much the stronger of the two. That left hand of Humez keeps going down as if he's resting it, letting the blood flow down into it again. That wild, hopeful right hand that Humez swings like some memory he's seen before of a right hand from Sugar Ray that hurt and hit Turpin. And on the bell, Turpin once more unleashes one of these fairly hot-hearted furies of his. Referee comes over, and Turpin is the winner. Turpin is the world champion. And it meets with quite a mixed reception from the crowd, not because they think Turpin didn't win, but because they didn't care so much for the way in which he did win. They wanted to see a knockout, they saw blood, but they wanted to see a knockout and they didn't get it. Turpin is the champion, and not a mark to show for it that we can see. And a warm kiss from George Middleton. As if Turpin needed a kiss at that stage, it's poor old Humez needs it, somewhere below that battered nose of his, but he's still smiling and still a game boxer. Onslow Fane, chairman of the British Boxing Board of Control, presents his trophy to Turpin. And Turpin's now thinking of roll on the American opponent for the title.